Hey everybody, welcome back to the ABYC. I'm Easton and we have Jordan here with us. And today we're going to be talking about crimping.
All right, so if you've ever worked with a high current DC electrical system, then you know that a crimp can make or break that system. You can spend all the right money in all the right places, buying the expensive batteries and the best inverter and everything. But when you come down to making a simple little crappy crimp, it can ruin the entire thing. And then you're gonna be calling us because you're having problems that you think is wrong with the system, but it actually comes down to just that you didn't make a good crimp in the connection.
And this isn't just a electrical issue. I mean, it could be a safety issue also. As you can see here, this rig came into the ABYC with a lug on there that was screaming hot. We used a thermal camera to capture the temperatures that we saw on there. If this guy ran this rig for any longer, it could have quite possibly turned into a thermal event.
All right, so today we're gonna show you the various options that we've assembled for different kinds of crimpers. These are the ones that we find that most people, after we call us on the phone, this is what they're using. Then we got some that we use here in-house. We'll start out, we got one of the cheapest ones, which is your hammer crimper style. You can usually pick these up from 12, 20, 30 bucks. This right here is a hydraulic crimper. It's got a various dies that you would change out to fit the lug you're trying to crimp. You pump it up to crimp it down. Those, I've seen those as cheap as 50 bucks. I've seen them to 100 bucks, 150 bucks, depending on what you want to spend on one of them. Then we've got two different style here. These are just regular like press style crimpers. It's got an adjustable dial on the top of them. These are gonna be the ones that we probably use most common in the shop. These can cost you somewhere between 150, 200 bucks for a good set of these right here. And then we've also got the Milwaukee. That's a battery style crimper. It's battery powered. It's definitely, it's on the higher end of things. That crimper is about $3,000 by the time you buy the dies and everything for it. But it all depends on how much crimping you're doing. So we want to show you a little bit about every different kind of crimper we can think of you might be using and show you, the pros and cons to each one of them.
I don't know. I think those crimpers are a little bit more expensive than 150 to 200. These Burgundy?
You can't even pronounce it.
Look, that's why it's expensive.
I know I bought these crimpers, I don't know, a couple years ago. I think they were like $180, $200. Ain't no way. These are like maybe $200, $300.
Well, we'll put the prices on the screen. I'm pretty sure.
All right, regardless of how much you spend on the crimper, again, I want to go back to the fact that you can spend $3,000 on a crimper, you can spend $12 on a crimper. It comes down to how you got the crimp done. Is it secure? Is it going to last? That's all that really matters in this whole thing. So we're going to start out with this crimper that I bought, just to show you guys a hammer crimper style. Again, probably $10, $12 crimper. We're going to start trying that first, show you what kind of results we get out of that.
So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this wire up into some pieces, and we're going to do crimps with each crimp, doing different techniques between him and I for the first one at least, and see how this goes. That looks like you had a lot of good technique in the swinging of the arm.
Yeah.
So Jordan crimped this with the hammer crimper, and to be honest, it looks pretty good. It looks like he had a very good technique.
I think it was my grip.
I don't think it'll heat up at all, but
I mean, it honestly doesn't look bad. I have concerns. Like, is it going to be able to carry the kind of current that this kind of wire should carry? It does have some loose spots in there. Mm-hmm. We could pull on it, but then at the same time, we could cut this lug open and see what kind of uniform crimp we've got in the middle of there.
I think we should do that.
So just as a little experiment's sake, before we cut this thing open, I want to try to hook this scale up we used in our solar panel video. If you didn't watch that, go check that out.
Check that out.
Right
up
here. All right, so we're going to do a little pull test. We're going to see maybe how much it takes to try to pull this thing off, or at least exert the amount of force I think it should take to pull it off or be able to hold that. And if it hangs on, then we'll go over and we'll cut it open and see what it looks like inside.
It's 185.
Well, I think that's good.
That's pretty good.
I'm confident in that.
Yeah.
Let's cut it open and see what it looks like.
All right.
All right, man.
That's a very clean crimp there, Jordan. I think your technique was spot on.
I mean, you've got a little bit of space in here, but still, I mean, it held 150 pounds pull. Honestly, it's the technique, really. I mean, you can, like I say, you can use these cheap crimpers. If you're trying to DIY this thing, I don't see why you can't use them. You just have to use them right.
I think if you tire yourself out over time.
Yeah, you have to hit it until it hurts, you know what I mean? I had a lot of crimps come in here, and it's like they're taking one swing at the thing. I think that's good enough, and it's got one little indentation, and you can just grab it and just pull it apart with your hands. That's obviously, I trust that. I just pulled 150 pounds on it. We've cut it open. We've seen this make good contact. I'm not scared of it. It's not a bad crimp. You just have to use this crimper correctly. Let's do one of our more expensive crimpers, and we'll cut them open and do the same thing. Let's compare them, see what it looks like inside. Gentlemen, scholar.
All right. You stick the V part up, what I usually do, and
get down on it.
Just give it a good
This is what we're talking about. I know that we're getting a secure crimp right here, is we're able to put a full body weight on that crimp, push down on it, rather than just swinging a hammer and hitting it, hoping we're doing it right. We're getting a close-up on this one compared to the two of them here. So,
pretty big indentions.
First thought, so it looks a lot like that hammer crimp, though, when you get done with it. I still kind of see the same gap around there.
Now we'll do the exact same thing. We'll just set this up here, you know, pull on it, see how many pounds we get off of this thing. Let's turn that on.
Kilograms.
Pounds for our American audience. Ready? All right, 3, 2, 1, max power.
That's not very much. 131. You're not pulling very hard. Hold on. 233. That's a good crimp.
That's a good crimp.
Solid crimp.
That's a good crimp.
I trust it.
I trust it. Trust it on a parachute.
Go cut it.
And where do you get this kind of crimper from?
I bought a set years ago, and I bought them, you know, just straight offline. They're available, but I don't know if you find them locally in a store somewhere necessarily.
Fine.
But
I've never used it. This will be the first time seeing these hydraulic crimpers.
We're about to see why nobody likes to use them.
All right.
So a whole lot of pumping.
Need a little help too?
Yeah, you're going to have to hold it steady.
All right, I'll stick it in and you pump.
How do you feel about that one?
It looks a little bit rough to me. I like it when it has a little bit more indentation in it to make it seem like something mechanically happened to this thing.
Anyway, I don't love the look of it either. That's why, honestly, we bought one of these years ago. We immediately almost quit using it. I gave it away. We actually borrowed this one from somebody on the road who had one. Let's compare it, because I don't feel like it's going to be nearly as good as even the camera crimper, to be honest with you.
I think I'll pull this out.
I think you could pull it out. Whew. Where'd you pull it off at?
I pulled it off. I don't know what at. Now this is a 4-aught cable, and it pulled out around 90 pounds. I don't think that's good enough. I think this would definitely cause an issue in the system.
This is going to get hot. We can't even make it to the cut test because we couldn't make it to the pull test. You know, I instantly have no faith in this thing. The bad thing is, yeah, I could probably step down in a die size and make the crimper a little bit tighter, make it work. But you as an end user or anybody else who grabs this crimper thinks they're going to grab the correct die because it's labeled the right die. The problem is you got to worry about the thickness of the lug too. So if you got a different style of lug, the wall may not be so thick, you may not get the same kind of crimp. So we grabbed the die that's labeled 4-aught, we did a 4-aught crimp, and it didn't last.
I mean, it's because of that simple fact that it's labeled.
Yeah,
that was labeled for the 4-aught.
Yeah.
So that's what you would use naturally, because you don't understand how the crimp is supposed to look on the outside, on what it means to be tight.
Well, and even too, like we grab these crimpers, and you can look back and zoom in on it. Even though it's a 1-aught crimper, I still turn that die just a little bit tighter because I know the thickness of our lugs is a little bit thinner than some other lugs, and we get a good secure crimp by going just a little bit tighter than what we're supposed to do. So, yeah, granted, these are your hydraulic crimpers, and you know yourself that you should be using a smaller die, and you fix that issue, you're self-correcting it. I'm just testing it the way it should be tested out of the box, really, and this is what we're trying to explain here, is that, unfortunately, we were able to do a much better crimp with a $12 crimper versus what this thing probably costs, you know, again, 80, 100 bucks, I don't know. So let's try it out. I'm gonna step down in the die size to where I think it probably should be and see if we can get a better crimp, and then we'll test it that way. We'll give this thing a fair shot, even though we're giving it an unfair advantage now. Yeah, so I stepped it down. So this is the die that's actually labeled for a 3-aught wire. So one size under the wire that we're using, but we're gonna step it down to try to get a better, tighter connection on it. Let's see what it does here. I'm gonna turn it on so I can start cranking on it. The other good thing about this crimper I'll show you too is actually the head will swivel on it if you have to, but
We'll swivel it.
no. Because you swivel it, this thing starts coming apart, which is the bad thing about this crimper.
A minute.
I'm just gonna stop. You imagine making like a whole bus full of crimpers like we do in here with like, let's say 10 cables and inverter cables and fuse cables and everything. And I got to pump this stupid thing up every time.
No.
I don't have time for that.
No, I can't imagine doing it right now.
This is going to add more hours to the labor that we got to charge for.
All right, we're going to try the weight test one more time with this, see what we get.
What you got? What you got? 100 and, you got to hold it steady. I can't see anything. Oh, what is that, 2?
Yeah.
Are you on kilograms here?
Golly.
No, the man's on pounds. All right, try it again.
All
You're getting out though. Either the jacket's pulling out or you're pulling the lug out. Here, let me give it a tug. All right, well, it held that. It was like, what, 2? I saw 2 something like 230.
Whew. That's the way a lug should hold. I think
either,
the jacket pulled off on that.
Yeah,
I'm looking on the other side.
down. So we'll cut it open and see, but it doesn't look like the lug actually, maybe the wire slipped out. It's more that the jacket was pulling loose, which is to be expected here with all that weight pulling on it.
It looks like that one held up pretty good. I mean, which we expected. I mean, it pulled for over 200 pounds of pressure, you know, just on this wire. That's a very good crimp.
Yeah, again, stepping on down in die size to make it where it crimps tight. But once you do that, yes, it did make a good crimp. All right, so we're gonna step up now to this Milwaukee crimper that we've got. Very similar to the hydraulic crimper that's over we just used. We've got to go here and select the right die for what we're gonna use. So with this one, we're doing 1/0 crimp. We're gonna grab a set of 1/0 dies here. Now again, kind of like that one, this actually has a swivel head to it, so it's nice to be able to work in the compartments with there. If you're trying to get into a bay and go in there and crimp up some wires, before you gotta go in there and you gotta take this big massive thing and worry about, I can't hit this battery over here and I can't make it arc against something. I gotta be real careful, then try to put every bit of force I've got to get this thing to crimp. These we can just grab, walk in there, crimp it, and it's going. So we'll get started on this one.
How many times do you want to crimp that?
I usually like to crimp these twice.
Oh man, and it even shows what size you crimped on there.
Yeah, so you know that you've got the right crimp because based on the wire indentation that's got now on there, or the indentation from the die.
So you have proof that you used the right die.
I think we should go over and do a pull test on this one now and see what it does.
Yeah, let's see what it does.
170, 180, 220, 215. I think that's a good crimp. 215.
You got a little bit more weight. You want to pull on it?
That's ignorant. That is ignorant. He's not wrong.
There you go. He's stronger than me. That's what it is.
All right, so let's go over there. We're gonna cut this one open now. We'll show what it looks like inside. All right, so that one looks pretty good.
That one held up real nice. There's no space in there. I mean, it looks
and you
real
can look
tight.
too, like compare it to, let's say, look at this one. See how even with the you could tell where the lug stopped and the wire started. This one, it's almost hard to tell where one stops and the other begins.
Yeah.
I'd say that got a little bit better. Still, I'm not gonna knock the hammer crimper though. I think it did an okay job.
Yeah.
So really, I think honestly, in conclusion, you could spend a lot of money on crimpers and not necessarily get better results out of it. It's honestly just how you use it and how you focus on these. I mean, we can cheat on this one. We can step down in dies. Again, I said it too. We actually, because our lugs we know are thinner, we turn this one down a little bit tighter than what they're supposed to be. But then we know we got a secure connection. It's just honestly about knowing exactly how to crimp it right and get it good and tight like that.
Yeah. I think it's all about technique.
Yeah.
I think it's all about technique.
If you don't feel like that you could grab your crimp and go like we just did and put your body weight against it and it's not going to come off, then you haven't done it good enough.
It's going to heat up.
Even if it's a small piece of wire, if it's half the size of this one as far as thickness, or if it's got this big wire, you should be able to put a lot of force on it, not be able to pull that thing off of there. And time again, we get rigs come in here where people have done their own DIY jobs, or it's even people that are professionals doing jobs, and they've got just a really, really sorry crimp. They've either used something like this hammer crimper, but they didn't hammer it, but maybe more than once or twice, or they even used the right crimpers, but they didn't use the right dies, the right amount of force. So it honestly just comes down to, again, technique.
And I know you saw me using the bandsaw in order to cut these crimps. It is not good to use a vise in order to clamp these down. If you use a vise, it's just not going to give you the pressure that you need equally around the whole lug in order to get a very good connection.
Yeah, at that point, you're just sandwiching the lug between the crimps. And I've seen that done where you basically can tell it's been done because they either took a hammer and did it or they stuck it in a vise because they just flattened the lug out all the way across and smashed it between a piece of wire. Not going to get a good uniform crimp. You definitely can't pull on that with your body weight, so it's not going to last.
I don't even want to, show that because it's not good practice. It will always cause a thermal event. All right, that's another video for us, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave any comments down below. If you've had any troubles with any lugs or if you've seen, somebody use these particular devices in a even crazier way than what we have. We'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, and if you got any ideas for videos too, drop them in those comments below. Maybe we'll do that on the next video.
I read every comment.
Yeah, even as fan mail.
No, yes, maybe.